It's my pleasure to be here this morning and to join His Excellency, the President, at this very, very important occasion on the launch of the Dow Central Securities Depository, Depository, the Dow CSD. And as a former central banker, I'm happy to be back home, but more importantly, to increase the diversity of the products that are going to enrich our market. The central banks in all emerging and frontier markets like Kenya are currently faced with significant headwinds arising from monetary policy tightening, especially in advanced economies, and more so the challenges that are posed by the supply-side shocks that have hit the economy for so many years now, accounting 4 years, especially starting with the drought last year and also the subsequent supply shocks. These supply-side shocks marked a very difficult season for central banks, given their mandate is to ensure price stability, but pressures from the supply side do require more than bringing the supplies back into the market, whereas the central bank use the demand-side tools. But I'm happy to note that given the interventions the central bank and the government have implemented, the Kenya shilling, the exchange rate is now stabilizing. And the Monetary Policy Committee has also taken measures to address inflation. This, together with measures implemented by the government to support increased agricultural output, have resulted into a decline in inflation to 6.7% from a high of 9.6%, as the governor mentioned. And we do expect this to be a declining trend on inflation, especially as we continue to see food supply coming back into the market, and even productivity and production increases in our farms, in our smallholder farms, and even larger farms. The global developments have drastically worsened the external financing conditions, and this has limited Kenya's access to external borrowing and even affected the domestic debt market liquidity. For this reason, the domestic borrowing targets, for example, for the financial year 2022-2023 was met with a lot of difficulties. But it's also a lesson for us so that we can come up with innovative solutions that can address the situations or even conditions as they arise. Consequently, for me, the rollout, and for the government, the rollout of the Dow CSD by the Central Bank of Kenya is a great milestone, as it will not only enhance the operational efficiency of the government domestic debt program, but also support the deepening of the domestic capital market. The launch of this system marks a major step in the government's efforts to promote local savings and investment. Allow me, Your Excellency, to once again congratulate the Central Bank for delivering a state-of-the-art system that conforms to the international best standards, but also in addition allows us to join some of the line products that have been produced at a very, very micro level. And we do believe that a combination of these mid-row and also micro level products is going to be quite productive for us and quite satisfying for us. Allow me also to recognize the role played by the World Bank, the National Bank of Georgia, and the market stakeholders in Kenya, commercial banks, investment banks, CMA, Nairobi Securities Exchange, KRA, and even IRA. Their input in the project has been invaluable. I also wish to acknowledge my colleagues from the National Treasury for their role in this important milestone. They are the most people who complain when domestic borrowing, or that is the market of public debt, does not work well because it affects them directly. So we have a stake here, and that stake is very, very important so that we'll take up any responsibility in future to make sure that we improve on this diversity of products that are flexible to the borrower, but they are also flexible in terms of providing the resources that we require.